You know, slapping a $20 rattle can paint job on a high-end firearm may not always be your best option, but I might do it anyway. However, if you're not of the bent that I am, that you'll spray paint just about anything, you might seek out a different option for painting or camouflaging, not really painting, but camouflaging your high-end custom optics and custom firearms. Today I want to talk to you about that very option, Ranger Wrap. All right, welcome back to the shop. Thank you for joining me again today. This is gonna be a fun project. It's kind of like wallpaper for grown men. Ranger Wrap. I don't know if you're familiar with the company. I haven't ever used their stuff before. I've known about them for a while, but they make adhesive, fabric-based camouflage coverings for optics, accessories, firearms, and all that good, wonderful stuff. Now, on their website, y'all know how the internet works, Ranger Wrap. Pretty self-explanatory. If you go on their website, you can actually find a broad range of pre-cut, patterned camouflage packets, I guess you could say, for different accessories and types of firearms, optics, camera equipment, all kinds of cool stuff they actually have here on their website. I'm looking through it, and I mean, you can do your flashlights, you can do your little red dots and all that kind of stuff. So they have a multitude of camouflage patterns you can choose from, and a multitude of options for different specific optics, accessories, and firearms. Now, while the firearms ones are super cool, they're pretty specific to a small kind of category of firearms right now. You can look on their website and check that out. Your common ones though, you know, your ARs and that kind of stuff. But the real place that this camouflage patterning system really shines is with your accessories, like your optics, like you know, high-end scopes and red dots, and even your earphones and stuff like that. Things that you may not actually want to spray paint. This is a great option for camouflaging those and kind of toning down the blacks and the grays or whatever to make a really cool pattern and a really cool look. They do have a pretty broad range of camouflage patterns available, from coyote browns, OD green, flat dark earth, night camo, some of the old school stuff like tiger stripe and desert tiger stripe, woodland camo, the M81, and then a range of multi-cam options and patterns like this one. Now, outside of the accessory packets, the actual accessory package you can get that have the pieces already laser cut for your specific accessory or firearm or whatever, you can get sheets of this stuff so you can do your own custom job. And that's what we're going to do today. I've got a sheet of the Arid multicam that I got, 12 by 12 sheet, adhesive backing like this, and you can cut it with scissors, you can cut it with a razor blade. It's pretty tough stuff. It's Cordura fabric, so it's actually supposed to be really tough. It's supposed to be reusable. If you're gentle with it, you can actually reuse it and it won't leave any adhesive scarring, I guess you could say, on your platform, or you know, your accessory or whatever you put it on. It won't actually like mess with the finish of it, and you shouldn't require solvents and stuff like that to get it off of that firearm. That's just coming from their website though, from what I've read on their website. This is first-hand experience with this stuff. I've never used it before, so I'm actually going to take and do a test run on a firearm like this and put some panels on it, just simple panels, and then run it for a few months in and out of the holster, that kind of thing, just duty wear it, type it, you know, field test basically of this stuff to see how it works and see if it works. And I'm not sure exactly how I'm gonna wrap this one yet. I might just do some panels, might do an over wrap. I have a scope coming from Arkin that I'm gonna review the scope as well, but I'm going to also use this for camouflaging that scope instead of painting it. So that's gonna be a really cool project. Let's get into it. Okay, I kind of had an epiphany for this while I was thinking about what to actually apply this to before my scope gets here, because I'm going to put it on that scope. But something I can do a wear test on it, and I think I'm actually going to put some on my EDC carry knife. This is a little frame lock I made myself probably 7-8 years ago now, a titanium frame lock I've been carrying forever. I'm actually going to put some of it on here and test it out and see how well it holds up to just carrying it around in my pocket and wear usage and all that good stuff. I'm just gonna put it straight over top of all this stuff. So I've got the pattern here. I'm gonna take this and try to be as minimal as possible with the waist here. Kind of got this bent area down here that got a little bent in shipping, so let's cut that out there. I think that's a good field test. Put it on something I use every day. But I like the concept of this Ranger Wrap. This is a good idea. It's I think can save people some frustration and stuff with painting and all that good stuff that comes along with trying to paint your, you know, paint your optics and accessories and all those good things. I did that backwards. Son of a biscuit. New plan. Well, new plan, we're just gonna do a small piece here. Because I did that backwards. Didn't think that out. Definitely think your patterns out, people. I totally meant to do that. It was a stylistic choice that we meant to do. Yeah, think this stuff out before you do it. That's my first takeaway is like, yeah, think this out before you know, start slapping stuff down there. All right, I'm just gonna put that on there and see what happens. For the love of Pete. You know how hard it is to get stickers off of stuff? Off the backing? Yeah, this is like 10 times harder. There we go. Camouflage the first knife. I'm gonna find out how long this lasts. Ooh, that's cool looking. Sweet. Alright, this ghetto as hell because I did a terrible job with, you know, cutting it out, but I'm assuming you can just burn those off. Like the fuzzies like that. A little bit of a lighter play. Hit it like you would paracord. Life is good. Alright, new plan. And look, unless you're a weapons grade retard, this stuff really isn't that hard to figure out how to use this thing. So, got this Howa 1500 here we're going to be using in an upcoming project. So I'm going to put some panels on this bad boy and see how it turns out. Alright, Ranger Wrap, where do we stand on this? Fairly easy to work with. Got a couple panels on this rifle. I'm not going to waste a whole lot of my wrap right now because I'm got a scope coming for this thing that I actually want to wrap completely with this sheet that I have left. So I'm going to completely do a wrap on that scope once I have it mounted and all that good stuff. But it seems to cut easy, lay down pretty easy, clean up pretty easy. It's pretty adhesive feeling. It has a very strong adhesive feel to it when you put it down. So, and it is just, it's not complicated to work with. I think it's a good alternative to paint if you are averse to, you know, spray painting your gun, stuff like that, or spray painting your optics especially. I think that's where this stuff really shines, is when it comes to optics and accessories and things like that you may not want to put any paint on. It could actually be a really, really good boon for getting some camouflage on your rifle. Camouflage. Camouflage. That's such a fun word to say, isn't it? Camouflage. Anyway, we're ready for a field test with this. I'm gonna leave those panels on there and just leave them there till they fall off and see what happens. I'm gonna be field testing this rifle soon. Gotta get the scope on it, and then we're gonna get out to the range with the 6.5 Creedmoor and do some fun projects with the Howa 1500. Overall, the Ranger Wrap. Good alternative. It's a good alternative to paint, I think. I think it's a good sound concept. Longevity wise, we'll see how long it holds up. I like that you can get it in multiple patterns and colors and stuff like that, so that's cool. It's, you know, versatile. I think it's really, really versatile. It does have some limitations. You're not going to get full overall coverage. You may have some problems with edge lifting and stuff like that the closer you get to the edge of an accessory, or if you leave it too far wrapped, or too little wrap, not far enough over an edge of something, like there's just a little bit of wrap going around an edge, it might come up on you. I don't know that it will. I'm going to test this. I've got some overlaid a little bit into the bolt shroud, or the bolt handle docking station here, whatever you call it, wherever the bolt handle goes. I want to see if that lifts, see if it comes up on me and how long it takes. I've pressed it down in there and I've burned the edges to keep the fray down and all that good stuff. I would say bevel your edges when you cut panels instead of cutting square. If it's going to be on an open body portion of the accessory that you put it on, I put a little bevel on the edge there to maybe just keep it cleaner and keep it down a little better. Mush it in there nice and good. Yeah, it's neat looking. It's got a cool look. It actually breaks up things. I think it actually does definitely gives a camouflage pattern to things, breaks it up. Doing an overall full rifle with the stuff on the barrel with the heat and all that stuff built up on the barrel, I don't know if you could use it on that. I don't know if you could use it on a suppressor cover or as a suppressor cover. Not really sure. May test that again in the future just to see how that turns out. The adhesive and the heat might cause problems with your barrel and stuff like that. You might run into some problems there with heat and that adhesive specifically. But RANGERWRAP, have you used it? And what do you think? Those are just my initial impressions and thoughts with it. It's just a fun project to play with in the shop. Something I think could be useful in a lot of places, not just with guns and ammo and stuff like that, but with gear, like hunting gear and stuff like that, even like on a bow. Actually, that's a good idea. I might actually put some on my bow limbs. That'd be awesome, actually. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that in the future. I'm gonna put some on my bow limbs and field test that. Anyway, y'all let me know what you think. Thank you for joining me again. And don't forget to keep your knife sharp and your powder dry. Y'all stay blessed.